We're just ecstatic here to have this type of boost in resources, but even more so in partnership. We have been watching and learned from our friends in Houston and in LA and other parts of the country to just, we should be talking more about what's working and what's not. And that's really what led to our involvement and working with our continuum of care, which I should mention, we have 43 funded partners within the continuum, responsible for about 140 different projects. And so that's a lot to move around. And so having HUD come in and support what we've been seeing and trying to plan to try to address a lot of lessons learned during the pandemic has it's been tremendous, and it's really kind of given us a renewed approach. So the $60 million grant is $20 million over 3 years. We've worked very closely with our partners at the city, of course, with the continuum of care, and with our state partners to just kind of what's going on, what are we seeing? And so clearly we do not have enough shelter beds. And that's okay in a sense, in relation to the fact that we all agree that shelters should be short-term, temporary, and non-recurring. We really want to make the push to move from unsheltered homelessness to transition on then more permanent housing. And so through this grant and our planning, which was a huge mountain to move because we like voices to be involved in the planning of this, particularly those of the expertise. But there's a couple of things that we're going to be focusing on. First and foremost, we want to have a more robust outreach effort so that our outreach teams have immediate access to triage and stabilization housing. For some people we know in unsheltered homelessness, triage housing and enhanced support are extremely important. So during the pandemic, it was quite a rush to work with folks who were considered unsheltered to get them out of encampments and off the streets into the safe places. And so two things we developed. One was called an expedited housing initiative to try to get people housed more quickly. And we did it by two ways. One, accelerated moving events. We went to the encampments, to unsheltered locations, working with our outreach teams to get people immediately into what shelter beds were available, into hotels to ensure their safety. And this was really for us in the beginning, a health issue as far as the pandemic was concerned. The second thing we did is we really started to garner a cadre of effort in seeking out additional landlords. We do not have enough housing, and by far not enough affordable housing here in Chicago or the state of Illinois. And so it's important for us to really work with those landlords. We also want to work with our peer support. As I mentioned, our members of lived expertise are represented on the continuum. They're even represented on All Chicago's board of directors. We have a lived experience commission and a youth advisory board, all who have given input into this planning. The whole point is to enhance our system-wide coordination. Know what the right hand knows what the left hand is doing. And we're working following the strategic path of, as I mentioned earlier, our plan to prevent and end homelessness aligned with the All-In plan, and in Illinois, the Home Illinois plan, which all talks about how we all want to work to end homelessness. So we're extremely excited to have this. It aligns with our continuum's effort to try to grab as many pieces as we possibly can, and to just be authentic and honest with each other that we don't have enough housing available. And so there are going to be some efforts to continue to work with the city to try to help develop that.